categories.
Wait, is there another? I got one in my bag.
What is it? What is it?
It's too late. We're going.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, we're going.
It's all good, boys.
We're going.
No, we're speedrunners. Go fast. We do
Heck
things.
yeah.
All right. All right. Should you count me in or the vice versa? All right. So in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. What's up, everyone? I'm known as Grig. This is Crash Bandicoot 2, and I am running the category known as any % no game over abuse, or no-go for short. I'll talk about categorization later. To start off with, I should talk about movement, because that's what makes this game fun. So, as a kid, some people may have figured out that the fastest move in the game is the slide, but in a speedrun, we don't just slide. We do what's called neutral slide spin, or NSS for short. In order to do that, you slide and then reset your directional input to neutral before hitting spin. And what that does is tricks the game into not checking the speed you're going at in the spin, because generally in a spin, it will limit your speed to a certain point slower than the slide. However, it forgets to check how fast you're going if you neutral, so you just keep the slide speed through the spin. The other thing is glitched high jump, which not quite done correctly there, but essentially you spin on the way up in a slide jump and you get extra height, and it allows me to clear obstacles and pits that I should normally not be able to clear.
Yeah, the neutral thing is common in a lot of PS1 platformers.
Yeah, there's a lot of neutral movement in older games. And then the final thing to do with this game's movement is what runners call zigzag. Essentially, if you think of the D-pad on a PS2, PS1, really any PlayStation controller as a box, where the up, down, left, right are the sides of the square, and the diagonals are the corners, you can see that the diagonals are further away from the center than the sides. And basically Zigzag abuses lazy programming to do with that to get the speed of diagonals in straights. What you have to do is alternate between the two diagonals either side of whichever straight direction you want to go in, and you'll go further in every form of movement.
Yeah, that's like the form with Crash 1 and Crash 3 too.
Yeah, it goes for every Naughty Dog Crash game.
Yeah. The only thing that changes really through the games is more, there's NSJs, which are neutral slide jump, but with instead of spinning at the end, you just do a jump and you keep your momentum.
100% muscle memory there. I didn't need to blow up that nitro detonator, I just went backwards.
Hundo strats.
Yeah, hundo strats. So, to do with the categories that I mentioned before, again, this is any % no game over abuse. Essentially, you'll see I'm going through the levels and picking up the purple crystal in every level. And that's kind of the theme with this whole run. You need all 25 crystals to beat the game. But there are two other any % categories that involve using glitches to get the crystals differently. One just referred to as any %, or it used to be referred to as any % glitched. You bounce on a box 201 times, and then bounce on 25 seals without touching the ground, leave the level, throw up 25 crystals into the air, and then beat all the bosses. And that's the game. I'm not doing that, fortunately. But the other any % category is any % go, or game over abuse. Essentially, if you game over after picking up these purple crystals, and then hit yes to continue, the crystal will remain in your inventory, and you will quote-unquote collect it as soon as you leave a level next. So all you have to do is half beat every level, and then you can die a bunch of times, and the next level you beat is where you will collect that crystal. So you can skip the end of a lot of the levels that have a lot of platforming after the crystal. But this is, I guess, what you would consider a more simplistic any %, where we're simply playing through the game more or less close to as intended. Oh, I didn't skip the cutscene. Oops.
This is a more popular category than Go Abuse 2.
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely the most popular any % category. With, I would say 100% these days is probably a bit more popular than any of the any %,
Yeah,
but messed up that movement. That's fine. Another thing you might notice is I'm avoiding going into third mask form, and the reason for that is because third mask form is slow. It's faster if you are walking, but it's a lot slower in slides, and obviously I'm not walking.
This game is also like really prone to clipping into terrain. So sometimes, like in Snowgo, you can just clip in to the side of the ground. And
Yeah,
get stuck there. Have to leave
it's
the level.
really easy to get stuck in this game. Another thing is it drops a lot of inputs, especially on PAL, because you're moving a lot faster than the game wanted you to move, so it's hard to keep. The game is having trouble keeping up with you just on like regular movement. So just there, I pressed the slide button about 5 times, but the game said no, so I walked at the turtle. There was one other thing I wanted to cover.
Figure it out. Like to be noted, this game is like really input heavy.
Yeah.
All the time, especially with zigzags. It takes like a lot of stamina, I guess.
And then especially when you get levels like these ones, I literally have to know what's coming up before it comes on screen, or that will happen and I will die.
Yeah.
That was because my movement chain got thrown off when I hit the mine, so I wasn't certain. Most people, myself included, memorize these levels by movement, so I don't necessarily know where everything is, I just know where I need to be. But if I move differently throughout the level because I get a dropped input or something, I will forget what's coming up next. Because as you can see, I am moving much too fast to react to things as they come up on screen. Sometimes I might be able to, but 9 times out of 10, if you don't know what's coming and you're moving this quickly, you die. Ooh, nice. So what happened there is whenever you hit those platforms, if you hit them from the wrong direction and the wrong movement, sometimes they just decide to send you backwards. There's actually one later on in the game that can send you backwards so fast that you clip through the floor. I'll try not to do that in the run, but no promises.
Keep forgetting that we're watching a purple and green crash on the monitors over there.
And yeah, sorry about the colors. It was the only way we could get the game running at all. So this boss is a complete and total auto-scroller, so if we have any donations, feel free to read them out. Otherwise, I'll just talk about myself for a minute. Okay, I guess I'll talk about myself for a minute. So I've been speedrunning for about 2, maybe 3 years now. My first game was the first Jak and Daxter game, which I no longer run because I kind of played it way too much and fell out of love with the game.
Yeah, and then Lava Tube Skip sort of made it a bit more difficult to
Yeah, a lot of new skips came in. But yeah, so I've been running Crash for maybe 1.5, 2 years now. Lately I've kind of moved away from speedrunning a bit, but if anything my focus is the Kingdom Hearts series. But either way, shoutouts to everyone in all of the communities for all of the games I do or ever have run.
And no worries.
Speedrunning community is a really welcoming place for the most part. Anybody ever thinks, oh, maybe I could do this, might be too hard, whatever, give it a go. Like, no one gets here in a day. It's not like I picked up Crash and I was as good as I am, which isn't to say I'm excellent, but
Still pretty good.
you know, everyone can speedrun. It's just a matter of putting in the work. So if anybody finds any of the stuff that we're doing here interesting, appealing, wants to watch people more frequently, hit up Twitch, hit up speedrun.com.
/Crash.
Yeah, just take a look around. You never know what you might find. Oh.
Nice skip.
So you can die in the warp room if you forget to skip a cutscene like I just did. And that might, sometimes when you do that, it messes with the loads of the level, so we might see some weird stuff here. I didn't do that on purpose, but it would be great if I got some glitched loads in a marathon.
Just warp to Cortex.
Yeah.
World record.
Got that mask for safety. It is slower to pick up, but I just got like 5 dropped inputs in a row.
And the momentum may look easy to conserve here, but once you lose it, it's like you just stop dead. pretty much.
And that's why I get the mask for safety, because I'm not confident in this section. More dropped inputs.
The R1.
The game is not happy today. There we go. That's how that should look. Whew. Could you stop, please? No, I don't want to go into the bonus.
Yes, you do.
Hondo strats once again. There goes my mask. Oh well.
Should be right.
So yeah, obviously whenever I die it's slow. I'm not doing that on purpose, but again this game is very input heavy and it also drops inputs a lot. So it's very easy to die. And at the moment it's not happy with me. It's dropping a lot of inputs. Probably mostly because I'm used to playing with more delay than this TV has, so I'm inputting early. But the game is also kind of laggy. Mostly because we are moving as fast as we are in a speedrun.
The PS1 isn't very powerful as it is, so.
Yeah. Naughty Dog was squeezing every last drop of resources they could out of the PS1 to make the Crash games work. And something to note along those lines, in Crash games, if it's not on the screen, it doesn't exist. That's the way that they dealt with the limited RAM. Everything loads in when it comes onto the screen. It's deloaded the moment it goes off screen. That was a damage boost. It was intentional. That's not a joke.
This level's pretty much just getting cycles.
Yeah, pretty
time.
much. Because hopefully, damn,
This is
I
a
missed the cycle, just barely.
This is a global cycle, right, for the whole level? Like
Yes.
all the mines, yeah.
No! Okay, so there's something. If you spin the frame that you land out of a slide jump, you will get a small bounce off the ground. And that can mess with you quite a bit at times. And another thing that just happened there, if you slide coming up to a corner or an edge of a platform, you will not be allowed to jump.
There he goes again.
I just got the bounce again. Nice. I'm just gonna stop spinning when I land. I'm gonna wait a bit. That's probably a good idea. There we go. So there's something else. I lost the mask doing that, but if you spin and then jump off of TNTs with the correct timing, you can avoid the explosion. I tried to wall boost there, but instead I just ended up going straight into the wall. Nice. Oh yeah, wall boosting is another thing I haven't covered. Basically, if you hold diagonally against a wall, you will get the speed of both the direction you want to go and the sideways direction into the wall going forward. So it's a lot faster if you have a terrain that suits it to hold diagonally against walls in movement. So coming up, we have the first bear level. The bear is kind of interesting. The fastest movement in terms of pure movement speed is the charge. However, in terms of a speed run, we don't actually stay in the charge because it has a cooldown. Whereas if you charge and then jump, you go almost as fast with no cooldown.
You can
So
spam it.
we just spam the charge jump. Oops. Charge input. Damn, I missed that check. Now I've got to not die.
Oh, you'll be right.
Fortunately, I don't have to worry about 3 box. So, these 3 boxes here are incredibly difficult to get all at once, and it makes 100% runs interesting. Like, once you know lineups for it, they're not too bad, but if you don't know what you're doing, you could spend quite a while dying to go back to the checkpoint to break those boxes if you wanted to 100% the game. Because in order to 100%, you need all secret exits, all gems, and all crystals. And all of the gems, like there's a box gem in every level, so you need to break all the boxes essentially. Another thing that's interesting to note about 100% is in the warp room I'm currently in actually, there is a bear in the warp room itself that you can jump on to get like free lives if you jump on him enough times. And that's actually part of the percentage on the Japanese version of the game. You have to jump on the bear to get lives. I think it's about 2%. And Trihex did a 100% run of this game at a GDQ a very long time ago on JP. And it was actually a 98% run because he did not jump on the bear. That's a fun little tidbit of information for everyone. That's another thing, I was meaning to mention this earlier. PAL is actually the fastest region for this game, so the Australian region or European region, whatever you want to refer to it as. The reason for that is because they sped crash up to compensate for the frame rate difference, and they kind of overdid it a little bit. Especially when you take the movement that I'm using into account, it works out to where PAL is actually a lot faster. Like, your jumps go further, your slides go further, everything just goes further. So that's the bear just there outside the bear level that I was talking about. He was looking at you.
Everything on this level is in the global cycle, isn't it?
Yeah, everything on this in this level is on a cycle. Everything in every level is on the global cycles.
Fair enough. I don't know if some of them would start when you walk.
There are some levels that aren't on it, but they're like usually not the whole level, it's just individual parts of the cycle. But I mean, I don't really know the global cycles all too well because, among other things, I'm not going fast enough, consistently enough to always get the same cycles. So I just react to whatever I see at the time, usually. And I hate these barrels, so I go slow. Alright, made that jump. Didn't save any time, but it looked cool. That's what matters. And the reason it didn't save time was because of cycles, if anyone was wondering. So now we have the second boss, Komodo Bros. Fun fact about Komodo Bros, if you skip the cutscene frame perfectly, you will take damage every frame that you are able to take damage until you die. So I actually need to wait a little bit before I skip the cutscene. Other than that, this fight is all just about not doing what I just did. It's about positioning and hitting the second brother from the right angle so he goes straight into the middle and deals damage without bouncing off the sides at all. But obviously I messed that up there. But where you stand determines where this guy spins. I messed it up again. So you want to stand in positions that will make him bounce off the walls more times, I guess. And that way he'll stop spinning sooner. I don't know exactly how it works, I just kind of know where to stand. Lost my mask. Oh well. I got it that time, but then I died to the I don't like this boss fight. I'm not particularly good at it. Usually I don't die, but...
Just got unlucky there.
There we go. That's what it should look like when you hit him. So yeah, the boss fights are actually the easy part of this run, but I guess I'm just choking because I don't know why, to be honest.
Marathon.
Yeah, marathon lock. Blame the RNG. Let's go.
Hand RNG.
Yeah, and RNG. Exactly right. Brain lag. Okay, that's what the fight kind of should look like. Didn't die this time, so it was a lot better. So now we're going into walk 3. Up first is plant food. So something that can happen in this level, and probably won't, is I don't know exactly how, but because of the loads, the crystal will appear gray instead of purple. I'm gonna do that one more time and then I'm gonna stop and I'm just gonna ride the platform.
It's quite a long jump though.
There we
Zigzag
go.
pretty well to get there.
Yeah, that is a relatively difficult jump, but I'm fairly consistent at it, so I was confident that I could do it in a marathon.
You did
But,
it eventually.
Oh yeah, on the jet ski, you kind of just mash either X, square, or circle, and you boost, and it's fast. That's pretty much all there is to know about the jet ski. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Strats.
So here I'm actually going to do something a bit slower to conserve my mask, assuming I keep it. Yeah, so no gray crystal, but oh well.
I mean, it's probably
the
gray on
reason
the
for
screen.
that is because it's going to make the next level a lot easier. And I lost it anyway. Lovely. So I just wasted time for nothing, basically. Hooray. Usually you would have 2 masks there and you would damage boost through these plants. But I wanted to keep the mask. Because I don't have masks, I'm going to do the levels a little bit out of order. Because the level coming up, sooner or later, masks make it easier and faster. So I'm going to do things a little bit out of order so I can try and take some masks into that level.
So we avoided the gem in the end of the level there. Since crash throwing it up would just waste a bit of time.
Yeah. So basically there are 2 levels with timer gems where if you beat the level quickly enough you get a gem for it. The animation of Crash throwing the gem up into the air and fucking saying yeehaw, it's slow basically.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Oh,
No.
nice save. It's like right on the edge of the train.
Yeah. I saw it coming. So this level, ideally, I can take 2 masks out of, but we'll see how that goes. Waiting for cycles here. Then I have to wait for another one. Okay, I managed to take 2 masks out of a level. So now that I have 2 masks, I can go into sooner or later, and if I play the level right, I don't have to wait for any cycles, and the cycles in that level are really slow. So it just means I can damage boost through everything. Every time I do it, it saves about 6 seconds.
Whoa. Is that the cutscene again?
Yeah. I keep thinking I've skipped the cutscene and then it shows up. So this first guy, if I'm good, I can snipe him with these things, but I'm not good, so doesn't matter though because I have masks. Okay. That was a little scary. I couldn't really see where I was. This next guy, Again, if I'm good, I can walk past him, but again, it doesn't matter because I have masks. Here I'm going to wait on a cycle because this is a quick one, and it avoids losing a mask that I could use to damage boost through a later cycle. And also means when I mess that up, I'm all good.
There's a lot of lag there on the TNTs blowing up.
More often than not, I end up body slamming there just because I forget that I'm about to take damage. I don't need to wait for this cycle. What am I doing? So there we go. I managed to avoid pretty much every cycle in that level because I took 2 masks in. That's why I wanted to do that there, because it speeds the level up a lot. Each time you wait for one of the guys with the flamethrowers, it takes about 6 seconds.
The flamethrowers?
So, flamethrowers. So in total there, by skipping cycles, I probably saved 24 seconds, which doesn't sound like much, but in a speedrun, that is a lot of time. This is probably the worst bear level in the game, and I would almost say one of the worst levels in the game, because the bear just moves really, really slow for the first, like, 60-70% of the level, and if you die you lose a lot of time because of that, because it takes ages to get from checkpoint to checkpoint. The bear's really slow. Not much we can do about it because the bear has a set speed, and the charge and charge jump speeds him up relative to that set speed, but now we get to go a bit faster. I don't know why, but for whatever reason at that patch of ice the speed just doubles almost. No, dropped charge input. That's unfortunate. So the other thing is the death animations on the bear are really, really slow. But also just because the platforming takes longer than it does on Crash. Another drop charge input, but I don't die to that one, I just go slow. So now we have, I believe, the last backwards level of the run, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Unbearable. This is one of my personal favorite levels, so let's hope I can do it justice. It just looks really nice if done quickly. I can't do it justice, it would seem. I have practiced this level a fair bit because I like it so much, but I still get caught off guard by those fences sometimes. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Alright, focus. I've got it this time, I promise. Third time's the charm. See, I just went slow and it was all good. Going slow and staying alive is better than going fast and dying. So just there, you might have been able to see the lag. It's one of the first points in the game where it was actually visible so far. The frame rate just dropped immensely for a little bit. But playing the game, you can kind of feel that lag the entire time. So here I'm about to go out of bounds. because it makes life easier. It's actually slower to do that than optimal movement through the fences, but only by about 2 seconds, and that not only looks amazing for a marathon run, but also avoids me having to deal with the fences. But yeah, essentially if you just charge jump at the wall and then mash R1 and X, which is the charge and jump buttons, you will stay above the level until the end. This is tiny. This fight is half cycle-based and manipulation and half RNG. So which platforms despawn is partially random, but I can, to a degree, control it depending on which platforms I make him jump to. Like, if I make him jump to the same platforms every time, there will be about 3 different sets of despawns that can happen. And I find, for me personally, doing it more or less like I am now works out to be the easiest. No.
Lucky.
I wanted to kill him there, or damage him there, but I messed up. That's my bad. This fight is easy if you just play it slow, but sometimes there will be points where you can punish him with a platform that despawns, and it's difficult.
Just think on their new batteries after the run.
So hopefully I'll get a good despawn here, because in the last phase only one is going to despawn. When that happens, if it's one of the sides, I can just jump straight over the gap and he'll fall in, as shown. You can also get the dance to happen on the platform Tiny dies on as it's falling to the ground, so you'll be dancing on thin air. But yeah, I'm not risking that in a marathon run. If I die, it wastes a lot more time than that's worth. And it's not even fast, it's just like swag, I guess. So here I am again doing the levels out of order for masks. Coming up, we have the only level in the game where getting into third mask form saves time. So obviously, I want to get in third mask form. In order to do that, I need to take 2 masks out of a level. Ideally this one, but I have 2 other levels that I can do it from. I have a total of... Well, actually, no, all of the levels in any percent. So I have a total of, I think, 7 masks in this warp room outside of the level that I need them for to work with. Maybe even more than that. So as long as I can just not get hit 5 times, you know, 5 is my maximum, I will be fine. I shouldn't have chanced that cycle. I don't know why I did. I was not thinking straight. So these platforms are really annoying to move along because they are 3D, and 3D movement in this game, at least of this nature, is not fun. So I tend to just take them really slow, make sure I know where I am. All things according to plan, I should be able to go into hanging out now. Yep, okay, so I've taken 2 masks out of a level. That means I can go into level 16 and hopefully keep the masks until the mask box in that level, and then we'll get to see third mask form once in this run. So we wait on that cycle because the 6 seconds that it saves is not worth the amount of time it will save to get third mask form. You can skip that cycle at the start with the flamethrower guy if you move around it a certain way without losing a mask, but It's a difficult strategy to pull off, and I'm not confident, so... Okay, good cycles. So now we get third mask form, which, as you can see, is pretty slow, but it's about to be much quicker.
Yeah, since you can't,
As soon as I grab the hangrails.
since you can't speed up the climbing any faster, the mask form is the straight up fastest way to go.
So that's the only point in the Crash 2 run where third mask form saves any time, and it saves about 15 seconds from memory. So it's very much worth getting. At least I know it saves 15 seconds for me. Maybe for other people who are better at manipulating cycles and stuff, it saves less time, but I don't actually know. So from here I'll be doing the rest of the warp room more or less in order. So we have Digging It. This is another one of my personal favorite levels. It also has the most RNG, randomness, luck, whatever you want to call it, of any level in the game. All of the cycles in this level are completely random. And this is like the only level in the game where the cycles are random. So I have to react to things as I see them. I can't just expect things to go a certain way. The direction that these faces move, the order in which the plants will spit bombs, all of it. And then in 100% there's even more RNG, but I'm not sure I could explain that in an any percent run. Just because I'm not doing anything to compare the trick to. But essentially it's a box duplication glitch, and you die as a part of it in order to duplicate boxes. And if you get the shoes coming up into the sky, or Crash throwing his shoes up into the air animation or whatever when you die falling down the hole, the death takes about 2 seconds longer and the glitch won't work.
Yeah, there's a few different death animations in the game. They can screw you over pretty bad with the jukes.
For reference, getting the throw the shoes up in the air animation when you fall down a hole is about a 25% chance. And then you have a 75% chance to just die instantly. So the one nice thing about the whole plant bomb cycle thing,
Oh, I'm lucky.
the one nice thing is that if I'm in a slide or a spin, I can't be damaged by the bombs. So as long as I just move well, I'm immune to the cycles. But that relies on me to move well, which in a game that drops inputs, both directional and face button inputs, that can be difficult. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. I did not at all expect to go without deaths in a marathon, so this is still fine. As long as I get a decent enough time and I'm showing how fast the game can be played, I'm happy. And it's looking like I'm on pace to hit my estimate, so that's all that really matters, right? Wait, I've already been into this level. Oops. Oh wait, no, never mind. Never mind.
That's good.
What's up? Nice. So you don't need to hit that exclamation mark box there. You can do a zigzag glitch high jump to skip these stairs completely, which is what that box gives you. But I'm not confident in doing that, so Also, this is one of the only levels where taking the death route is faster in any percent. And when I say one of the only levels, I actually mean the only level. I'm gonna play it safe here and get the hidden mask in that box.
To note, if you do slide along this ice, you can just pretty much glide over the gaps without having to jump at all.
That's why I got the mask, those nitros there.
There's a lot of lag there.
Yeah, there is a lot of lag in that level. And the nitros are in really awkward spots at the end there, which doesn't help. Another thing, when these hedgehogs put their spikes out, you still have a couple of frames to hit them before the damage is actually active, which is different to other enemies in the game where the damage hitboxes are active before you even see them change. So while the hedgehogs are annoying, they aren't the worst enemies in the game. I did pick up the crystal, yeah. Yeah, I did, okay. Was worried for a second there. To be honest, for a moment there, I forgot I was in Warp 4. I thought it was Warp 3. I was about to panic, thinking I'm going to miss my estimate.
That's right.
No, you're a warp room ahead of that, Greg. So this is probably my favorite level in the game. It just has really nice movement, I feel like. Both in 100% and any percent. Especially any percent, though, which is strange because I would say for every other level in the game, I prefer playing through 100%, but in this level, I much prefer the any percent pathing. Whew. Didn't glitch high jump there, that was a little close. Dropped the spin input. So yeah, you can jump over the electric fences, and you don't even need to do a glitch high jump. If you get over them at the absolute peak of a slide jump, you will still clear them on PAL. But obviously a glitch high jump is going to be much safer. And there's a good showing of the fact that I'm immune to damage in a spin. The same happens in a slide though. There are exceptions though. Some things can hit you out of slides and some things can hit you out of spins. And some things can hit you out of both. But the vast majority of damage is not applied if you are in a slide or a spin. I didn't want to hit that nitro detonator, but I lagged into it. Nice. So there's a bee cycle there, so there are bees chasing you. And on top of that, you have all the nitros to worry about, so it's incredibly difficult to move through the area without digging under the ground to avoid the bees. But I was trying to do it there, and I'm going to try to again. If I hadn't clipped the nitro there, I could have made it through to the gate, but I'll try it twice, and then I'm gonna give up and dig.
You clicked a little on the metal boxes.
Yeah, I did. But I would have made it there just barely if I hadn't clipped the nitro. But it's all good. I will dig this time. Play it safe. I know when I'm beat. So that's the safe way of doing it. You dig under the ground and the bees can't hit you. Now we have the last real boss of the run, Engine. Engine is entirely cycle-based, 100% consistent, but it is a very hard fight. In order to do it optimally, I need really good mashing, which I don't have, so I do slightly slower versions of the fastest strats. So basically the idea is to try and break two at once, because it cuts back on cycles and also cuts back on hits. If I had broken one and then broken the other one, the second arm I would have needed to hit an extra 5 times.
Oh, the nice little freeze there.
2, 3. here you can break the center in one cycle, but it is close to frame perfect. I'll say frame precise and requires very good mashing. So I'm not going to risk doing that. I'll just play it slow, play it safe. I have done it once before, but I haven't put practice into it, and it doesn't save a huge amount of time. So this is the last warp of the game, also probably the hardest. If I don't mess it up, it should be the fastest warp in the game, and I just died in the warp room again.
Video games.
So the reason I died there is because I failed the cutscene skip, and I got something called walking while talking, which is where you're able to move in the cutscene itself. And so because I failed the cutscene skip, the levels like Portal or whatever didn't load in. One thing you will notice about Crash is although it was programmed very well in some aspects, in other aspects it was programmed very lazily. Although some may argue that lazy programming is good programming, I'm not sure which side of the fence I stand on.
Have you explained 3D jumps yet?
I got stuck under the thing there. I guess I haven't. So you can jump around objects and obstacles. People refer to it as 3D jumps. Basically, you just come in towards the camera and go around the pillar or whatever it is that's in your way. Usually I don't do it all that much, but if it's an easy one, I'll go for it. They're kind of hard to control because your depth perception in this game is limited at best. These enemies, these big lizard things, can only be killed by slides as well. So, I might have, yeah.
Yeah? No, I can hear you. Good. Just changing the batteries on Greg's microphone.
Really close with Booster right now.
Yeah. Let's go fast, man.
I'll try now. Astrius better get this fixed before I go into pack attack, that's all I'll say.
Oh, are you doing it?
I'm gonna try. I probably won't get it. I practiced it a little bit and I got it like 50-50 consistency.
So I don't really think there's much movement you can do to speed up in this level. It's more just flying.
Yeah, the only thing is flying through these guys, and that's not really anything special. It can only be done on PAL though.
Yeah, flying through those guys can only be done on PAL.
Because the cycle is faster on NTSC when they will like... Oh, I'm on again.
Hey, man.
So flying through those enemies like I am can only be done on PAL because on NTSC they will electrocute again faster since the cycles are programmed by the frame rather than by the second. So you have more time on PAL, whereas your movement has been sped up to compensate for the frame rate, so you have more time and you move at more or less the same speed on the jetpack. So here we have Night Fight, not Night Flight, that is a Spyro level. This is the only dark level you get to see in any percent, but there is another one that you see in 100%. It's a bonus level in the secret warp room, and I'm dumb.
A bit early.
Totally Fly it's called, and it's a very good level. One of my favorites. So apparently we have a donation. Zumi is trying to read it out as we speak.
Are we on? Yeah, we're on. We have a $20 donation from Satins. It says, "G'day homies. Sucks I'm not there to enjoy this event with you other guys, but regardless, have fun." And it says at raise, but I think it's and raise from good moolah for good causes. And also good luck to Greg. Tell Liquid I'm disappointed he didn't submit hit and run any %. One hand.
So again, these lizards can only be killed by slides. Another thing is the cameras, if you're in a slide or a spin, they can't hit you. So that's another instance of spin and or slide immunity, making things a lot easier than they would be otherwise. I'm not really super comfortable with the end of this level. The start I'm good with, but the end I always forget where things are. There we go, I got through it. So in this next level, I'm going to try to do something that I definitely should not try to do. I have it 50-50, and if I don't get it, then that's probably a good thing, but I'm gonna go for it anyway, because it's amazing. It's called Jetpackless.
That's pretty good.
You can do the jetpack levels without the jetpack, basically. So... No. Yeah, okay. I messed up the movement.
Basically, you
horribly
just spin and slide while buffering pause inputs, and you can just get warped all the way to the end of the level. Well, not to the end of the level, you can just go and run through the level.
Yeah,
all that has collision, all the terrain.
You run through... Well, I guess I get another try at it.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, you run through the entire level as Crash. Dropped spin input. I probably would have gotten it that time if I had actually spun. But yeah, you run through the entire level as Crash, and there are a couple of, I guess they're almost like zips in Sonic, where you just kind of zip straight to the next part of the level because the game doesn't know how to react to the fact that you're not on the jetpack. I want that.
How much time does it save? Like a ton?
It saves a lot in any percent. It saves like 15 in 100%, and that's with the fact that you have to go out of your way and climb off scenery to break some of the boxes. So I think it probably saves 20, I'm gonna say, in no-go at a guess, but I'm not certain on that number.
20 is also a fair amount for a short category like this.
Yeah, that's a lot. Damn, I was trying to keep that mask, but it's not a huge deal. So we're gonna cut it really close with the estimate on this one. I've died quite a bit, so I'm not too surprised. But if I play perfectly from here, I think I can still hit it. Might be the first time in my marathon history that I have not hit my estimate. And I have done runs in various mental states. And this time I'm actually fully here, so that's pretty amazing.
Sleep percent at AvCon.
Yeah, not just sleep percent either. No, that's not what I wanted to see. So here, I'm kind of somewhat going out of bounds. You can just kind of jump off those guys' shields and get to places you shouldn't be.
Yeah, since everything has
I
collision.
didn't actually want to go under the piston there, but because of the neutral movement, it can be hard to stop sometimes.
Drop decks.
that was a good one.
Oh, he just spawned right there.
Okay. No, that's not... Yeah, okay. We're not hitting the estimate. Oh well. Sorry, Astrius. I failed you. Minute, maybe minute and a half. Nah, this is the last level, and then we have a 50-second boss fight, and I'm almost at the end of the level. Yeah, so not even a minute over. Definitely not a good run, but not atrocious either. I showed off a lot of fast. I just also died a lot. So it you know, give and take. So here we have the last boss of the game. This isn't really that much of a boss, to be honest. But here's Cortex. Get ready on time, Astrius.
Astrius.
Get ready on time. And time.
That's 34 seconds of rest. That's ridiculous. And from the event.
That wasn't too bad. I'm okay with that.
It's
going to take 5 years to
And
get
what about the Cortex? It's still up there.
I'm having similar struggles. Thank you. I didn't fall asleep, so I did well.
Someone help him. He's caught.
Everyone here has long
Yeah.
hair. There we go. Thank you.
Now, Astrius, what are the chances of